we sometimes take for granted here at Eastern. And I'm fortunate enough to be able to be out and about and hear the stories. Faculty, you get to interact with them in the classroom. I actually envy you for that opportunity, but I get to go out and engage with these students. Literally last week ran into a number of students that I heard so many names of our faculty and how they impact their lives. Joe Corsini came up, Anna Cavanato came up, Sherry Carpenter came up, a whole host of faculty, and that's what they always talk about when they talk about their great time at EOU. So all of you new employees, and not just faculty obviously, welcome to a special place. Glad to have you here. I want to thank Chair Nelson and our trustees. Again, where faculty and staff do many things that never get seen, our trustees do that as well, where the employees of EOU don't necessarily see that. And they are making a tremendous difference for this institution statewide. As Chair Nelson mentioned, their advocacy is changing their narrative about EOU across the state. That's imperative that we do that, actually beyond the state, but throughout the region. And they're doing a fantastic job. And Tim can attest to this, how frequently we hear from other universities, large universities, saying, I cannot believe the caliber of trustees you have that come and present either at the Capitol or at different functions, the most recent being when we presented our mission at the HEC in early August. So I appreciate all of your services, trustees. And then I want to acknowledge Daisy. Congratulations on a second year. Some of the most formative time for me at EOU was when I got pushed and stepped out of the box and participated in student government for a number of years. That's another way that Eastern really provides an opportunity, and in my case, something that I looked at as I would never do. And Dean Stenard and Peggy Anderson saying, Tom, you should do this, you're capable of it, and we've got your back. And it had tremendous impact. So thank you for your commitment, Daisy, and willingness to step up your time and commitment for the university and the students that you represent. Dr. Nearing, I want to thank you for your leadership of the foundation. The foundation, as he said, is so critical relative to the scholarships that are provided for our students. And again, it goes to our mission of access as a university, and talk about phenomenal supporters of Eastern Oregon University. And before I move on, I want to highlight a couple of other individuals. I think I saw Nancy Knowles and Jeff Carmen. Thank you so much for your leadership last year as Faculty Senate President and University Council Chair, respectively. The amount of time and effort, collaboration you put in. We got a lot accomplished. We have a lot more to do, so I appreciate your leadership and commitment to shared governance and working for the institution. And I want to acknowledge Doug Briney and Lori Baird, who are stepping into those roles this year. Critically important as we really begin to meaningfully embark on the Ascent 2029. We're going to have many challenges in front of us, but I don't say it lightly when I say together it's possible. I truly believe that's how we're going to accomplish the outrageous goals that we have in the Ascent. Before I turn you over to the video, two other things. I would be remiss not to highlight an accomplishment we achieved in April of this year. Anybody have any idea what that was? Good, I'm glad you kind of don't know, but I did mention it. So in April of this year, the Higher Ed Coordinating Commission voted to remove all conditions on the university. Okay. Exactly. I don't want to dwell on the past, but I think it's important to acknowledge how far we've come in such a short time as a university. From 4 years ago, 2014, I guess we're pushing into our 5th year now, being in the red, being in an extremely challenging environment, no one likes that, to a situation where I'll show you a graph at the end of my talk, where we are extremely financially sound. We're focusing on our future and what we're going to be in 2029. So I'm just really pleased that we accomplished that, and it was through a lot of hard work, pain and agony of all of you as we transform this institution into what it is today. Last but not least, please, because I don't think many of them are actually here, because they're probably out there working, during some time this week, stop one of our facilities folks and thank them for what they do. It is amazing the amount of projects that are going on this campus, and it's exciting. Our Northeast Campus restoration work is almost coming to completion. If you come to campus from a different side, just take the opportunity to come up I and see how the campus opens up to you. And again, this is about leveraging the beauty of our campus. And in every moment someone experiences our campus, it's truly exceptional, because we want to attract students, obviously, to our campus, because we want to grow the number of lives that we impact, because we have something special here. So take a look at that. We have our track and turf project that is gaining tremendous response from our local communities. We're getting a lot of people coming up and using those resources. It's the beginning of the transformation of that portion of campus. We have our IT infrastructure project. Not many of you probably go into the second floor of Ackerman, other than those of you in the humanities and social sciences. I challenged the team to do a project there, to not reduce any classroom space, and to come in substantially lower than the original scope cost of that project. That team saved $1.5 million. If you pay taxes, thank the facilities team. $1.5 million, and we've moved all of our server activity up to above the floodplain. And we also have the best operating efficiency opportunity with this project now. So again, the facilities team are doing all these projects in the background as we provide the services to our students. This is next. Loso Hall begins. We have a team working on what it is we're going to do the upgrades. I was talking with the team, they were talking about interference with speakers because the old cabling and such that we have in here. But we're going to be spending $5.5 million in this facility over the course of the next year, plus or minus a few months, really upgrading this facility and enhancing our arts experience for our students going forward. I'm not going to dwell on the field house, but the field house was a huge win for us this February, getting $9 million of state support so we could build that facility. And really it's about transforming our South Campus and leveraging the field house yet again for an enrollment opportunity, but also to enhance economic vitality and of the region and energy on campus. We have plans to put the outdoor adventure program in there. We want to provide a much different and better experience for our students, and we want to grow that program. It obviously connects to our being Oregon's rural university. We're also looking at moving lab space for the physical activities and health program over there and leveraging the multi-purpose space that we'll have with hopefully track and multi-purpose courts. Again, all about attracting students to this area and also helping us fulfill our mission. And just so you're aware, bear with me, the projects that are coming down the pike that we'll be advocating for in the legislature this year is the renovation of Enloe, seismic renovation, and then the grand staircase. We're hoping we're able to get funding to do that. That, I would say, is the last kind of eyesore portion of our campus that if we can get that accomplished, will also reopen up a gateway to our community that I think is vital to address the town gown opportunities that we have here at EOU and LeGrand. So I'm sorry to burn through that stuff, but I think it's important for all of you to know what we have going on in terms of infrastructure here that's critically important and really leveraging what we love here at this university. So with that, rather than me continuing to talk, as you know, I like to use videos. I would like to share a short video that really demonstrates what's so special about Eastern.
Basketball players in Nigeria, we tend to have the same dream that I have at some point to be able to travel and play basketball.
Together it's possible. EOU prides itself on being a university of access and opportunity. I'm proud of what we do here at EOU, but I'm more proud of our students and what they do.
I love being a mountaineer. I love being a mountaineer.
And more of reference to that as we move forward. And when Tim and his team presented that to the cabinet and also to the board, I was extremely excited about this because what I love about the Eastern Edge is For me, I can talk about it at a very high level for this university. But what we can also do is for every program we have, whether it's an academic program or a student services program, we can speak to what's unique and special about that program at EOU versus any other institution. And for me, the Eastern Edge is the fact that I see our mission actually coming to life at this university. It's one thing to have a mission written in a document or on the shelf. It's a whole lot harder to actually live that mission. And we're beginning to do that. Not that we didn't in the past, but we're doing it with much more intention. And it leads to what we're doing with our strategic plan as well. So when I think about our strategic plan, our mission, and what is the Eastern Edge, it is the fact that we provide access to excellence, not for the elite student. We'll include the elite student, but access for all. We're looking for how do we have that mission come true for every student that we can possibly serve. Because what gives us the right to not provide that for every individual? At least that's what I'm committed to. So we're not a university of access to average. Every day I see just phenomenal things happening in our classroom. So it truly is excellence that we're providing. And the reason we're able to do that is because we're partners in discovery. I've said this many times. The reason I'm so passionate about it is because I experienced that at EOU, and I talk to students all the time who experience it when they're here at Eastern Oregon University. And finally, we have our focus and eye on graduating students, cultivating success for our students, allowing them to ultimately have a fulfilling career and a great life. Now, we have a lot of work to do still to do that with every student that comes to EOU, but I believe we're making great strides, and I think our strategic plan, the goals and objectives within that, are helping us move forward and climb that mountain. I told someone today in a text, I said, you know, the view is great when you're climbing the mountain. It's really good when you get to the top. But today I am acknowledging that the view is pretty good for EOU as we're climbing the mountain. I just highlight this when I talk about access to excellence. We're the most affordable institution in the state of Oregon, and we continue, even through the challenging financial times that we have, position ourselves even better. We have the lowest in-state tuition increase combined over the last 2 years of any institution. I think OSU and us are extremely close when you think about tuition and fees. But we're not just cheap. I've showed this before, and this is kind of my financial side. This is return on investment, and that's where EOU is number 2 in the state of Oregon of all institutions, number 3 in the whole Pacific Northwest in terms of impacting a student from where they started to where they came out of the institution. I think this means a lot. This is an edge that Eastern has relative to any other institution in the state. The other thing that we do that I'm extremely proud of and is critically needed in this state, if you look at demographics that I'll talk about, is the fact that we are pioneer in EOU Online. And this is a space that we are focusing on, as everybody knows, with our review of Pearson Online Services. I did make that announcement this summer, but since this is the first time we're all together, I think everybody knows that we chose not to partner with Pearson Online Services. I appreciate everybody's feedback and engagement through that process. And what we found ultimately with Pearson was a partnership that wouldn't work because we had fundamentally some things that we were committed to that didn't work for them. That's fine. We learned a tremendous amount through that process, and we're going to continue to look at other alternatives. Because what you see here is a commitment actually by the state of Oregon, and we need to help with this, and that is building a future-ready Oregon And we have, in the state of Oregon, 560,000 adults that have some college degree, but have not, or excuse me, some college education, but not a degree. Guess who can serve that? Guess who's got the edge? Us, especially if you look at price, and we're going up against OSU in that regard. If you look at the Pacific Northwest, there's 1.7 million adults that would benefit from getting their degree from Eastern Oregon University, because we are embarking on a knowledge economy. I think we've all heard about how automation is going to impact future jobs, and these are individuals that need the skills that we provide to advance in their careers. You've seen this chart before. You'll probably see it again. The bottom line are those that have no post-secondary education. There has been no recovery for them since the Great Recession. The middle line are those that have some post-secondary education. The top line are those with a degree. What line do we want people to be on? I sure want the top line. And we have a unique opportunity. Again, I believe in EDGE as an institution because we're positioned where we can provide what the knowledge economy is saying is needed in the workforce. It's provided through our liberal arts and professional degree programs because faculty, you've built this in to every program we've designed at Eastern Oregon University. We provide these essential skills. So the primary gap that we have is how do we connect as an institution to the external economy and help people understand that we are providing these skills. And that's why you're seeing more and more focus on things like the Rev Center, because we have to develop programs where we're partnering much more intentionally with the external community, enhancing the educational experience of our students, because we know that experiential learning, deep learning that happens that's connected to the classroom curriculum has so much more power than doing it alone. And so with things like the Urban Rural Ambassador Program that we started with the Portland State University, Marin, Peterson, and Dean Lau have been working on that. We hosted our first group just, 2 weeks ago. This is an exciting new program. I throw up just a few of the examples of what we're doing to integrate experiential learning, where we're going to continue to commit more and more resource and look at how faculty can integrate these kinds of experiences into the student experience. Go ASAP would be another example. The Cottonwood Crossing Summer Institute that's expanding significantly. All these are great examples of where we can really bring education to life and really demonstrate the Eastern Edge. Chair Nelson mentioned being designated Oregon's Rural University. And I know some people, when we were doing that, they're like, what does that mean? This means a lot to me, and it's because of my upbringing, obviously, but more importantly, it's about us as a university embracing our rural roots and leveraging that to our advantage, because I truly believe that we have things that others don't, if we go about it intentionally. I can tell you from a state level, Chair Nelson talked about this, we garnered so much attention by telling our story and why we are Oregon's Rural University, and why we're not ashamed of being a rural university, why we're actually going to embrace that. There are other institutions literally that are saying, wow, you've created a distinguishing characteristic that we wish we could figure out how to do that. And the reason I love it, and Dan mentioned it in terms of Denver's upbringing, this is really, in almost every case for us, part of our DNA. Being rural. And so how do we leverage that to create an edge for students that they're interested in coming to Eastern Oregon University? I wouldn't suggest I know all the answers, but I know there are a lot out there. But one thing that we are doing, hopefully you've seen it in North Powder and in Caldwell, right at the exit where you go to C of I. We are advertising ourselves, or advertising the university and the Eastern Edge. And the whole push is to get them to our website, to get them to take the look, because we know when they start looking, they see something special at this university. And thank you for making that happen. So a lot of great things going on at the university. So here's a challenge, and why I am so focused on how do we grow and how do we create a distinctive set of characteristics that attract students to EOU. So to describe these a little bit, these two maps, where I received these are from the book by Nathan D. Grau. I think it's Grau. I'm not sure how to pronounce his last name. Just came out. Anybody read it? No? I suggest you do. A very comprehensive, maybe it's the math side of me, but a very comprehensive look at demographics. And it's driving many of the headlines that you see on the side there. If you look at the map, the red box says that college-going student growth between 2012 and 2029 is going to drop by more than 15%. This is traditional students. So, meanwhile, we're building another institution in Bend. So the competition's increasing while the student population of college-going students is going down in the state of Oregon. Only Portland is seeing growth. If you look at the regional 4-year growth, hopefully people can see that, but that says that we'd be down between 2.5% and 7.5% between now and 2029. So we have a goal. 2,500 students on our campus. We have about 1,400 today. We have a goal of 5,000 students online. We have about 900. We're going to have to do things differently. But the reason I love our bold goals for enrollment growth is there are going to be winners and losers, just as that title says. We are going to be a winner. It's going to take doing things differently. It's why we have teams coming together to look at other alternatives for our online program management and how we can grow that side of our institution, because it's so critically important to our future. Because there is no status quo in higher education. We're either growing or we're getting smaller, and I don't want to see us get smaller as a university, because that means serving less people, not growing the lives that we impact, not providing that edge that I'm so proud of at this university. So how are we going to do some of this? Don't worry, I won't get into all the details today. But Daisy actually said it. We've got to do it together. But I want to highlight the fact that we are in a good financial position as an institution. This is a good position to be in, given we're going into a legislative session that it's still questionable in terms of what kind of state support that we'll have. And given half our budget is designated or based on the state, we are most significantly impacted by what the state chooses to do of any institution. But fortunately, we've been diligent in developing a solid financial footing. We're building a good team that we're going to be able to identify our path forward and grow this university. I'm confident of that. Right, trustees? So I want to take us back and conclude with why we're all here today, why it's so exciting, and why it truly is a happy new year. Week of welcome, we have students showing up. I have 2 cousins showing up. It's great to experience it through their eyes. I told the Res Life folks, I'm not telling you who they are, but they're both coming in with a 4.0 plus, and little hint, one's going to be over in Gary Keller's business area, and another one's going to be hanging out with Anna and Joe and all the science folks. They're coming here excited, anxious, a little bit scared, and there is nothing that I would rather do than be with you here at Eastern Oregon University working, partnering with these young, energetic, open minds and making their dreams come true for them. Just last couple of weeks, the individual I'm holding that degree for, I didn't realize it at the time. I was at the Oregon Coastal Conference. It's a political thing. I was presenting on what great things EOU is doing, and a woman in the crowd said, I've got a story. I love what you do at EOU better than any university in this state. Young woman had to not pursue her dream because her sister died and had a child. And she took over being a mother for that child. But because of our online programs, she was able to continue to persist and get her degree. She's now getting married, she has a job, she's still caring for that child, and she hopes to have children of her own because we help provide that for her, obviously. I was in Pendleton last week. No, I didn't go to the Roundup much, but to run into students that talk so highly of their time at Eastern, working at Interpath, another one at Lamb Weston. We have something special here. Be proud of what we're doing, but please don't accept where we are yet because we have a lot of work to do. I can't think of a better group to be working to get better with. And I look forward to a great year, and I look forward to a continued commitment to our ascent, growing the number of lives impacted, but ultimately focusing wholly on student success, graduating students that have a fulfilling career and a great life. And I believe Eastern has that edge, and we have the opportunity to leverage it going forward. So thanks for all you do. Here's to a great start of the year. I look forward to the work in front of us. And with that, I will close and let you all enjoy a fantastic reception and maybe an adult beverage or so. But welcome and good luck this year.